Hi! First of all, don't mind my lips if they seem a little off or crusty. They are. It's the winter season. My lips are going to be like that. I'm not going to apologize because that's just the way my lips are. Second of all, please ignore the background of my office if it looks a little messy. It is. My office is a work in progress. It's always a work in progress, but it's really a work in progress right now. But anyways, third, hi, it's been a minute. It's been a really long time since I've been on here, actually, to be honest. My last video was back in maybe January of last year, and I stopped. Obviously, if you go through my YouTube, you will see that I stopped. And there are a couple of reasons for why I stopped, and I thought today I would shake off the rust, I suppose, and sit down and have a chat to anybody that's watching the video. I saw recently that I still have 600 subscribers, which thank you for sticking with me. So I appreciate that very much. It was very nice to review my YouTube and see that I had that many subscribers. And so really the reason that I wanted to get back to filming is because of you all. So thank you so much for sticking with me. And yeah, I just wanted to sit down, kind of chat about life and where I'm currently at. And I'm just gonna chat. This is just gonna be a chat video. There's really not gonna be much more to it than that. So back to what I was saying about my last video. It was in, I want to say January of last year. If not January, then early February. And as every year, as it happens, I had a whole lot planned and I wasn't stressing myself out too much in doing the videos because it's, at this point, YouTube is a hobby for me. I don't foresee this becoming a long-term career for me. I just, YouTube will be a hobby for me. It just is what it is. Videos will go up when they go up. As much as I would have loved to do every week or every other week, that's not the nature of how life is going. So I accepted that when I started last year, and then things really took a turn that I didn't expect, my husband didn't expect. So in January, we got COVID. In early January, we got COVID, and Chris and I could not function for about 2 weeks. What happened was we went to a Colts game, the opening Colts game, and while we were cautious and we did like masking, was it last year? He says 2021, I think it was last year. Yeah, COVID happened last year. I'm almost positive that it happened last year. But anyways, it happened. We went to a Colts game, wore masks, did what we were supposed to. We did not anticipate that they weren't gonna separate the benches. And so everybody was smushed in there together. And I think that's what got us sick. So like a couple of days later, Chris, we went to a local place, Kilroy's. We went and we watched the Blues game. I'm a St. Louis Blues fans, if you guys are curious or wanted to know. So we went to see a game because that's the only place that would play it. We went, and by the end of the night, Chris was feeling really shivery, and he was not feeling well at all. So come home, he takes a couple days, it's COVID, it hits him. A couple days later, it hit me. So we ended up not being at work for about 2 weeks. I work remote, so for me, it didn't really change too much. I just stayed home and didn't work. For him, he did have to stay home from his job. And so then after COVID, things derailed. On his side, like immediately after that, we lost his grandfather. And that was hard. that was hard for him, so it was hard for me to see that. He hadn't been doing too well in the past couple of months, and so like we went up to visit just to see him, to, you know, we were told that he probably wouldn't have a whole lot of time left, so we went, and he actually passed away the day that we went to visit. And so a couple of weeks after that, his great-grandmother, or not great-grandmother, sorry, his great-aunt also fell sick, and it wasn't COVID, if I remember correctly, but she also fell sick. She was in the hospital, and she also passed away. And that one, I had talked to his grandfather a little bit, but he doesn't, like, we didn't really connect or know too much. His great aunt, we had a couple of lunches with, and we would just see from time to time. And so the last time that we had seen her and gone out to lunch with her, it hadn't been more than a month, maybe 2 at the most, but it was just like one hit after the next in terms of losing family. And so that kind of really, it just threw us off course for the year. I had planned to film again at some point, but I just didn't think that the timing was right for that. And then, excuse me, sorry if you hear that, that's my nose, that's from the crying. And then we had a situation with a family member on my side who's been struggling for 2 years now with their own thing. And so they had a setback, and we spent the year trying to get them back up on their feet. They had a couple of setbacks, and so that was our year. It was going from that to that. I never had the energy to film. It wasn't our year. It didn't end up being the year that I thought it was going to be for us. And so we're still kind of working through that family member's situation. I don't want to go too much into detail because ultimately, like, it's their issue, and you guys don't really need to know, but it's an ongoing thing. They're better now, but it's not 100%, and we never know when it's going to be a bad day. So that's why I haven't posted a video. You know, all my plans, like I said, they all went out the window, and I couldn't get myself to sit down in front of a camera. Like I said, this is a hobby for me, but it's a hobby that I enjoy. I like to sit down on camera and film. I'm a nervous wreck whenever I do it, and I'm just a nervous wreck. I don't think that I do things properly. I'm not like an influencer type of person, and you know what? That's totally fine. But I like to sit down. I got inspired by watching Kathleen Lights, and I wanted to have my own YouTube channel doing makeup. And while I enjoy makeup, it's ultimately not like my long term. And so now I just want to put up YouTube videos whenever I feel like doing it, and whatever it tends to be. If I want to discuss my bullet journaling, I'll make a video of that. If I want to just have a video where I'm coloring, I think I'll just make videos of that and post. And, you know, if you guys like it, great. If not, I did something, and I did it for me. So that's why I haven't been here in a while. And I do still have YouTube ideas. From ever so often, I think of content that I could do and put up. So it's still a hobby that I want to pursue. I just, last year was not the year to full on commit to that. And this year, like I said, we still have a family member that is going through some things, and they've had setbacks, which has put Chris and I in a position of needing to drop everything sometimes to help. And so it doesn't give me much time to do a whole lot. But on the plus side, to not have this all be down and depressing, a beautiful thing came out of last year. Actually, after everything that happened, the rough first couple of months, in June, we ended up going to Mexico, which I wish that Chris was here to talk about it with me, because that has been one of our goals for forever since we got married. I think, even since we got engaged, was for him to always come to Mexico. My parents are from Mexico. They're from a small little town. Like, it's not the touristy side of Mexico, but I really wanted him to get to know my parents' hometown, to see how it is. It's just, we don't do anything. We just get to my grandparents' house and we relax. We go to the town, like the next town over, pretty much every morning for breakfast. We kind of do a little bit of shopping, whether it's for groceries or just general shopping around for things, and then we go home and we spend the entire day home. And that is perfection when it's in Mexico, because that is when I truly feel like I can relax, because there are no expectations of anything. Not so much recently, but before, internet connection, not always the best. So you disconnect, and I love that about going whenever I go. So I just wanted him to experience that with me and know what that was about. And last year, he finally was able to do it after us being denied that opportunity in 2019. So it was super, super exciting. We went for 2 weeks. We went alongside my parents, and we went on this trip because one of my cousins was getting married, and we had been invited to go. So last year, we just committed to it. We put in the money and we went, and it was an amazing time. It was a beautiful wedding. And yeah, he just got to experience it, and he really enjoyed it, and we can't wait to go back. But I don't know how to phrase it, but we had a baby this year, and that relates to last year, because last year was the year that, despite everything, we were really, sorry, give me one second. Okay, back from cleaning up my nose. We were trying from last year, really in 2021, is when we really just decided to go hard on trying for baby. And this year, our little baby was born. They were born in February. And last year, I'm sorry, it's so hard for me to get this out. Despite everything, we went to Mexico. At that point, it was a little bit stressful for me, because I had to, I was doing the ovulation cycling thing. I had to keep track of everything, and I was concerned that going to Mexico would kind of mess with that a little bit. So I still took my medications. I still did everything I was supposed to while I was there. Came back, and I knew coming back that I would need to take a pregnancy test. And the 2 days after we came back, I took the test, and it was positive. And I still have that stick. It's still in the office. But it was really, really amazing to see that positive result. And we just really got super excited to start our family. We didn't say anything for a couple of months. We kept it between ourselves, because the first year of our marriage, I had an ectopic. what's known as a chemical pregnancy. And I didn't want to get my hopes up again. So we kept it to ourselves for 3 months. And then when everything was pretty much stable and baby was there and everything was looking good, we took our parents out to dinner under the guise of celebrating him getting a new job, because he got a new job last year. And I had photocopies of the ultrasound, and I had a photocopy for each set of parents, and I just presented it to my mom and then his mom at dinner, and of course they were super excited. So it was really lovely and exciting to get to share that moment with them. So we were gonna have baby, so that is what really helped. We had something to look forward to. And it was a little nerve-wracking, first baby, but also because I'm generally small, and so my baby was also small. Sorry, pausing again. And back. Sorry, once I start to cry, my nose gets going. So it was the bright light in a year that wasn't the best year, that wasn't the year that we were expecting. So it was, like I said, it was a little bit scary because I'm not a big person. I'm small, petite. I've always been that way since birth. My little one, very small. So eventually what I had to do is I had to go into, I did basically check-ins with my doctor every week, basically. I had to do, not with my doctor, sorry. With my doctor, it was like every other week, maybe once a month. But I did have to go pretty much 2 times a week to the doctor's office, the hospital. One was to get my weekly ultrasound check, just to make sure that baby was growing and doing what they were supposed to. And then the other one was more like, I forget what it's called, but it was just to check that the heartbeat was doing what it's supposed to, that there was movement there, that baby was being active, and baby was definitely active by the end of pregnancy. So that was a little bit concerning that they would be small, and at birth they were small. 4 pounds, 13 ounces, very tiny baby. That was the year. We had losses in the family, and like I said, that derailed our plans, and we had a family situation on my end with a family member pretty much struggling with their life and trying to be there for them, and having to drop everything at the drop of a hat to be there. It's very stressful, and during pregnancy it was especially more stressful because I'm prone to stress anyway, and stress for a baby is not healthy. So it was a stressful year, but we've made it through. We've made it through almost to the end of this year. And so I feel kind of silly having this video out, but I just wanted to talk it through. I don't know that I will post this video. Hopefully I will, but I just wanted to talk it through. Because next year I do want to post videos, and I just want to come into it having laid everything out, about what happened, why I stopped, if for anything for my sake. Like I said, I just want to have it out there. I want to talk it out. I've learned that I'm someone that needs to talk it out. And so that was our year last year, and we got into this year. February, baby was born, and they're growing so fast. We were very concerned in February up to March because of how small they were. They did have to be in NICU for a couple of weeks, about 4 weeks, because they did not want to eat. They just were not the weight that they needed to be. I was actually induced at week 37 because of how small they were. It was basically every week was a waiting game to see when or if I needed to be induced. Really, it wasn't an if, it was the when. And they decided at 37 weeks, if they didn't gain at least 5 pounds, then I would have to be induced, because we wanted the chances of them gaining the weight to be better once they were on the outside than still growing in the womb. So they came out healthy, but just very tiny. So then they did have to go to NICU. Thankfully, my job allowed me to not, I got maternity leave. I was able to spend time, pretty much all the time in the hospital, I was able to spend it with my baby. And it was very stressful, not going to lie. Eventually, Chris couldn't be there with me. He had to go back to work. He didn't have what I had in terms of the paternity leave. So it was very stressful for me those first few days, because I did not want to leave my baby's side. I think I left maybe once fully when he was first in NICU, and that was because it basically dragged me out and said, you need to go outside. You need to not be here. It's not going to be healthy for you. So I went with my mom to lunch. But after Chris, it being me by myself and knowing that I would have to go downstairs to the cafeteria to get food, that was very nerve-wracking for me. So we spent some time in the NICU, and they did have to be tube fed for quite a bit of that. So that was very stressful, because obviously it's not what you want as a parent. It's not what you want as a parent, but it was necessary for them. And so we made it past NICU. We were able to get home. We haven't actually been home here at home in a really, really, really long time. We have not lived in this house since before baby was born. We have been staying at my parents' house. My mom initially took a couple weeks to be with me for the whole labor, and then a week after, when baby, for aftercare, once we were home. With our baby being in the NICU, that kind of changed things for my mom. She wasn't able to help me with the aftercare as much as she had wanted to. So once we were out of the hospital, she offered, a couple days for us to stay, and we've essentially been living there ever since, because it just is easier for childcare, especially in the very beginning when Chris and I were exhausted and overwhelmed. We had my mom and my dad to be there to help with that a little bit from time to time. My dad doesn't work anymore, so if I needed to use the restroom or do things, he'd be there to watch baby. And so we just haven't moved back home. So we come here from time to time to get things done. We are actually looking towards moving. I think I mentioned that in a video a long time ago. We have been looking to move for quite some time now. Where we're moving to has changed, because my parents also moved, not last year, but the year before that. They moved towards where Chris's parents live, not close to there, but around that same area. So now our direction to move has shifted to that area, because it's where it's where my parents are, it's where his parents are. Just childcare wise, it's so much easier to have him there. But yeah, we've been living there ever since. We don't know what's gonna happen coming into the new year. We are talking to our realtor, we're talking to a mortgage person about our options and what our options are. But we have to pretty much make a decision, Chris and I do, regardless of outcome, because like I said, we've been staying there, but we've been paying for the mortgage here. We've been paying for the HOA here, plus utilities that are still being used, water, gas, that type of thing. So it's taking money out of our pocket that we could be using towards putting towards a mortgage, towards something else. So we pretty much have to decide if we're going to move back here, and if so, what are we going to do for childcare, because our family is not close to us when we're here, or if we're gonna try and move full-time with my parents for the time being until we're able to find a home that suits us. So yeah, we haven't actually been living here for pretty much all year. So that's a decision we need to make. I was laid off in October, which has also dramatically changed things for us. I have time to be with our child, so that's reduced our childcare a little bit, but I do need to find something, because that is a factor in us being able to move, and what the mortgage, like what will be pre-approved for, and how soon we're able to get a home and that type of thing. So I am actively looking for jobs and opportunities. I won't go too much into the details of everything that happened, because this is already 26 minutes. But yes, I was unfortunately laid off in October. I need to find something. So I'm looking for opportunities. But that's kind of where I am, what we've been doing, why I haven't been uploading any videos. Like I said, 2022 was a very stressful and sad year for us. It wasn't the year that we expected. It wasn't where we wanted it to go. The blessing of that is that we did, I got pregnant, and now in this year we have our little one. It's still been a tough year. By no means has it been it's still been a tough year. It's a roller coaster. It's still a roller coaster. I pray that the new year will be a year of peace, of just joy in our lives, of finally being able to settle down in the ways that we have been wanting to settle down. A new home, starting to really focus on raising our child, new opportunities, a new job for me, seeing where his job will take him, what we need to do to just really settle into our lives. So that's pretty much, I guess, a recap of what's been going on. Thank you so much for watching. I know, like I said, it was just going to be a talkative video. I should have, I guess, forewarned that it was going to be some sad news, and it wasn't going to be a very lively, happy video. Well, it was for the second half, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to have videos for you guys up at some point, and we'll see. Thank you.